Welcome to White Shoulders Boar Goats and Farmstead. Today we're going to do an up close and personal blood draw so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Well, good morning. This morning I am going to show a better DIY of pulling your own blood for pregnancy tests and other disease testing. And I have two does that I can pull blood on, that I can send off, and I just thought that I would show you guys how I did that and show a really up close version of it so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm doing when I'm pulling blood. So of course first we have to get a doe, and we have to get her out and away from the buck who is also in there. And when you're dealing with a buck, I don't care how friendly he is, if you have to do something with your does while he's in there, make sure you tie him up or you get him sorted away, just for safety's sake. Bucks are like bulls. They are not to be trusted, no matter how great and wonderful that they are. I actually have a really nice buck that I would very much trust, but during breeding season, it's still a good idea to be on your guard and just be safe. So while he was licking the feed pan clean, I just hooked him up to one of my places that I tie up some of the mean does, and I am now safe to walk in and get my doe. She didn't want to be caught, but she did of course want alfalfa pellets, so now I've got to get her big butt up there on the stand. I believe she's my heaviest doe. The last time I weighed her, she was 183 pounds, and she's just commercial. And her name is Henna. Hi, Henna. Okay, so as you guys know, I do just about everything up on the stand. It just makes things easier for me. I can get to them. I let them eat a little bit of alfalfa pellets while they're up there. It's a pleasant experience for them, so when I get ready to do things with them, I don't have to chase them, because I hate chasing anything. So that's why you see me tricking them with food all the time. Here are the supplies that I'll be using this morning. We have two does that I can pregnancy test. Vale is a recheck, and Henna this is her first test. So I just wanted to show you guys what I use. I have cotton balls with alcohol on them. I've got some 3cc syringes, 18 gauge needles, 2 vials, rubber gloves, and some baby wipes. So I hope that the fan is not too loud, but it is very humid this morning and I need the fan. So you can't see me over here because I'm off camera, but I am just wiping some of the dust and dirt off of my hands. I know some people think, well, why do you got to do that? Because, you know, it's just an animal, but animals are just as susceptible to different things as humans are, so you want to do things clean. So that's what I use my baby wipes for. And then I come over here and I look at Henna. Hi, Henna. Can I see your eyes? Let me see your eyes. Oh, well, you look just fine. So they don't, some of these guys are easier to handle than others. Henna is one of my goats that she's all business and doesn't want to be bothered by a lot of things. But that's okay, because those are usually your best mama goats. And Henna is a really good mama goat. I have Henna's little halter on, and I am putting together my syringe and needle. I use the lure lock because you don't want this to you don't want your syringe to fall off. So you use the lure lock syringe. It's much easier. So now I have that set up. I need to get her head where I can get to her jugular vein, because that's what I'm going for. So I'll let you know I am not hurting her. All I'm going to do is tie her head up so that I can get to that vein, and so that I can get her blood tested. Some of these guys have some of them it's easier to do than others, but we're wanting to go right here in this crease right next. This is the jugulars right here, as well as your windpipe. So that's why I want to get her up here so I can get a hold of her and make it easier. You got to have the space. So now I've got that as close as I can get it. I want to make sure that I can get that jugular, because that's where we're wanting to go at. So I'm hoping you can see all this real clear. Some of the goats just don't like to have their ears messed with, but her ear is kind of in the way. So you can shave this, but it's going to take longer if you do that. So just know that. So I clean as much of it as I can. You want to make sure that your needle, the pointy part, is towards the body of the goat. And you want to come down here and hold your finger on the jugular. You'll see that if you hold down here, it makes the vein pop out, because it's right there. We make sure we get it full, and then we pull the blood, just like that. You want to make sure you have at least 2 cc's, unless you're doing more than 3 or 4 tests, but it's that simple. So before I do anything else, I want to make sure that Henna is relaxed, and I take her head down. Let her go back to having her alfalfa pellets. I have one goat that actually will chew her cud while I'm pulling her blood, so that's how difficult some of them are. Now, you want to make sure that you take your blood. Here's your blood. Here's the vial with Henna's name on it. Don't push the end. Just push the syringe into the vial, and it will pull itself in there. And then this is a 10 cc vial, so it had 3 cc's of blood in it. So now we have blood. You pull that out, put the lid back on it, and dispose of it correctly. So now Henna is completed, and she can go back. Before I take her back, though, I'm going to give her goat treat, because she was a good girl. And now we will know if Henna is bred to Hercules, because that was the last time Henna was bred, was to Hercules. Even though there's another buck in there, she did not come back into season, and she wasn't remarked. So I give her treats, and she's a good girl. And now we'll go get Vale. Okay, now we have Miss Vale. Miss Vale had to have a recheck because they said that her hormone levels were rising, but they couldn't give a definitive answer on whether she was pregnant or not. And it has now been 7 weeks since her AI. She has not shown to be in heat. She doesn't have any marks on her. So I'm hoping that she actually took, and Mr. Johnny didn't sneak in later, because he's only been in there, he hasn't been in there long enough for her to show up as pregnant if she was. So we will now check this one out. So this is the same process. The only difference with Vale is she has horns, and it's a little bit different to put the halter on her, and it's also a little harder to get her in the right spot here. If I remember how to put a halter on. I think I put it on backwards. And I just put it on. And she doesn't want to get her head out of the alfalfa pellets. So, how to put it on. We'll try this again, Vale. Get it on the ears, on the nose. She's not going to be, she's not very happy. Same as the other one. She's going to put her head down. I'll tighten it up here in a minute. Just want to make sure I get this cleaned off. Now, I do these by myself, so that's why I have come up with this different kind of way of doing it. And like I said, this does not hurt them, unless they don't want to just lift their head up like she's doing. But you have to make sure that you got them still, because you don't have another person helping you. It can be really, really difficult. So I'm hoping that you guys can see that really good. And that's Jade there in the background yelling. She wants hers done too, I guess. Now sometimes when you're doing this, you might not get the vein right, and you'll have to stick them another time. That's just part of it. So same as before, come down here towards the bottom. You wait for that vein to pop up, and I don't know if you can see it, but it pops up. There it goes. Well, it may have changed its mind. There it went. Alright. And I got it really good, so I need to hold it. You hold it a little bit, and the blood will coagulate a little bit, become sticky, and then it'll close up the hole to keep them from bleeding. You don't want to just do this and let them run off, be blood squirting everywhere, so it's better if you stick your finger in there and make sure you get it to stop. And that's why I have gloves. I'm not afraid of the blood, but I still have gloves just in case. There, all done. Okay, so now we'll turn her loose. You know, we've got to undo her here. Give her alfalfa pellets back. Now, you got your vial, and you have your blood, and there's, oh, probably a good 3 cc's, if not more, of blood right there. Hold it like on this side, and then just stick it in, and it'll suck it out, and then there you go. That's all there is to that. Sometimes it does take a little bit to jab them. They don't like it. I imagine anybody that's had blood drawn any length of time knows that it can be a pain. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I hope you got something out of that video.